Congratulations on growing lettuce in your tower garden. Now you're ready to harvest. You can harvest lettuce using two techniques. The first is the harvest of individual leaves, which keeps the plant alive and allows it to continue producing. The second technique allows the plant to grow to a full head before picking. So your vegetable drawer isn't inundated with too much produce at once. Often it's practical to use a combination of the two techniques, leaf harvest and full head harvest. After plenty of mature lower leaves have grown, you can harvest leaves from the bottom of the plant upward. Collect only a few leaves from each plant and always allow 2 to 3 expanding leaves to remain so the plant has enough energy to keep growing. You can harvest like this every 2 to 3 days until the plant shows signs of bolting, which we will cover in a minute. In spring and fall, you can generally leaf harvest for 3 to 5 weeks before bolting begins. In summer, this harvesting period will be a bit shorter. If you choose to harvest an entire head of lettuce, you can harvest anywhere from 45 to 60 days after your seeds have germinated, depending on the variety or whenever the head reaches the desired size. If you don't eat the lettuce right away, you can store it in the fridge for up to 2 weeks without losing flavor. To harvest the head, simply cut the roots just below the net pot and then remove the net pot from the tower garden. Trim any remaining roots closely to the rock wool plug. If you rinse your lettuce, allow it to drain well before placing it in a plastic produce bag. However, you'll often find that your lettuce is very clean and may not need rinsing, which is great because unrinsed lettuce actually stores a bit better and longer. You can then rinse it before eating. Another way to harvest the whole head is to simply cut all of the leaves off the plant. Make sure to cut above the apical growing point, which is the center of the plant where the new leaves are formed before emerging. Typically, this will be 2 to 3 inches above the base of the plant in early and late crops. In the heat of the summer, the growing tip might be higher up the plant. Bolting is the rapid expansion of a lettuce plant into flowering stage. All plants want to flower to reproduce and create seeds. With some varieties of lettuce, heat in the 80s and 90s will trigger the plant into fast flowering mode. The plant will quickly expand upward with a strong central stem. Sometimes you may see a short-leafed stalk with a tight bud. This means your plant is in flowering mode. The lettuce you harvest at this time becomes more bitter and less crisp. Generally, this isn't desirable and your plant has spent its life cycle. Replace bolting plants by transplanting a 2-week-old lettuce plant to the tower garden and beginning the growing cycle again. If you harvested the head or your lettuce bolted, then it is time to replace your plant. Depending on the season, you may want to sow your next crop of lettuce about 2 to 3 weeks after transplanting your first lettuce plants into the tower garden. Following this general timing, you will be in a continuous cropping cycle, so you can always enjoy fresh, tasty, healthy lettuce from your tower garden.